Hey, just working hard on my laptop here. Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Welcome to my table, my marble table of ranking. What are we ranking today? Well, first, ranking my performance. It's me, Majora, taking over Turbo Zone here at the table of ranking. Now, what am I ranking? Am I ranking Persona 3 mangas or maybe animes? No, silly, I'm ranking Dragon Quest games. I love my Dragon Quest. Yes, brings me comfort to say that. It is always a great time for a slime. I had to throw that one in there. Anyways, the Table of Ranking is a series where primarily Alex, because it's his series, rank video games from a particular series or from a particular collection. So join in the fun. Have you played these Dragon Quest games? How would you rank them based on interest or experience? Few disclaimers. One, Dragon Quests, I have them all except for 10. That should be here, but there was never a Western release for it. Sad to say. I'm crying, and especially after Square Enix confirmed that we're not getting it. But you never know, cross your fingers. So 10 is off the list. We're not ranking 10. The other thing is I don't own an NES. I do own a Japanese copy of 1 and 2. It's a combo cart. So to signify each game, I'm just going to use my copies of Monsters 1 and Monsters 2. Just so you can see there's a 2 there. And that's it. That's about it for the rules. So what is my order? I'm going to go least favorite to most favorite. It's not about worst or best. It's just, my personal preference. Another thing, I know a lot of disclaimers, but let me get them out of the way, okay? The Dragon Quest games that I have finished are Dragon Quest 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7. The Dragon Quest games that I have invested at least 10 hours into, including those ones, are Dragon Quest V, Dragon Quest VIII, and Dragon Quest XI. Meaning Dragon Quest VI and Dragon Quest IX I've invested less than 10 hours into. In fact, both of those games, probably about 1 or 2 hours. With that being said, the game that I would rank as my personal least favorite at this time is Dragon Quest IX. Why? I don't know. I think there was a time and place for this game. It really took advantage of some of the DS connectivity and stuff. You go to McDonald's and you link up with other Dragon Quest people. It wasn't a mandatory feature, but party customization was a big part of this. If you're wondering why I have the Japanese version, I actually do have the guide in English. I've never really committed that much to this game, but I think it's also short in terms of narrative and exposition. It's more about the party you create. So yeah, it's pretty low on my list. It's low in terms of interest and just low in terms of experience, sadly to say. My next pick is a shocker, Dragon Quest III. People probably say that's sacrilege. A lot of people think this is their favorite, and that's fine. My rationale for that is that I actually played this after I played through Dragon Quest 1 and 2. I should probably focus up here. When I played Dragon Quest 1 and 2, I felt these were pivotal and really an evolution in terms of the RPG genre. And both of those games stand out to me for very distinct reasons. Dragon Quest III doesn't stand out to me because even though it has some really cool gameplay system ideas, such as custom party creation and even some of the ideas that would be foundational for later entries in the series in terms of narrative, I felt like it really fell short in terms of both narrative and combat. A lot of the fights I was overpowered for. There wasn't a super crazy end boss sequence like I had experienced in the first 2 games. And I just felt like there were moments that should have been powerful from a narrative standpoint in this game that just weren't. They were underdeveloped, and I think that the later entries in the series have done a better job of it than this game has. So, unpopular opinion, but that's my hot take. Next up would have to be Dragon Quest II. This is at the bottom of most people's list. It's not at the bottom of mine. This is actually my copy of Monsters 2, but it represents Dragon Quest II for the purpose of this video. Now, I will defend this game because I think it's super interesting. Yes, it's a little broken in some elements, such as in the NES cart, the final boss is a heal-all, and even without it in the advanced versions, it's still a bitch. It's a hard boss battle. And the Cave of Roan is still annoying, and your main party is really underpowered. But I really felt such a huge sense of purpose behind the party in exploring the terrain. Just starting this game off, you're treated to like a cutscene of a bunch of these imps flying in and like setting fire to the terrains. It's like just so much more than the first game was able to accomplish. And I think it really comes through in like a lot of the architecture and the monsters and even some of the ideas. Not all of them are super well developed, but I'm genuinely and overall impressed with Dragon Quest II. I think it's I think a lot of people overlook it for, internet reasons. This is where it gets a little tricky because, these are like at least 8 out of 10s. Dragon Quest VI is not a game I've put a lot of time into. It's one that has intrigued me, but I don't think it stands out as much as some of the other entries in this series, especially within the same trilogy. This is supposed to be the culmination of a grand trilogy, which was really well treated with Dragon Quest IV and V, but this is not the game that stands out for the same reasons that the other two do. Sad to say. I really would like to put more time into it, and I would like to learn more about it so I can speak more definitively to it, but for now, it is where it is on my rankings. All right, it's getting tricky now. We're down to 6, but these are 6 great games. How are we going to choose? How are we going to pick amidst these ones? All right, I'm going to go Dragon Quest IV. I do love this game. It was the first mainline Dragon Quest game that I had finished, and I love the combination of the characters and their separate chapters. This is probably the only Dragon Quest game without a real silent protagonist because you play as like 5, 6 frickin' protagonists and they're all speakers except for the main guy here. But like you really do get a unique experience with Ragnar. He's a badass. Tornico, he has this kind of mercantile style. Alina is also just like super OP. I love playing as her and her little squad. Mina and Maya have a good subplot, and then they all interact with the main hero here, and it just translates well in all of the chapters, even before you come to like the final protagonist. You don't even start with the protagonist, you start with Ragnar. You start the game as Ragnar motherfucking Ryan. Mick Ryan, what's his name? It doesn't say, but Ragnar is an OG. So are all these guys. I really do like this game quite a bit, but it does not put it above Dragon Quest 1, the OG. It's just such a treat to play the original Dragon Quest 1. I think at this point we could just swap this out with the card of this. I probably should have used this for 2 because this is the 2 squad here. But in any case, I'm using this for Dragon Quest 1. Dragon Quest 1 is the RPG originator, and in playing the first game, I just, I know it's super dated in so many elements, even more so than Dragon Quest 2 was. It wasn't broken like Dragon Quest 2 was, but it's there's something unstatable about like, if you're a fan of RPGs and you just want to like see where some of these mechanisms were born, like it's not like big in terms of narrative or anything, like saving the princess. That's not a big deal here. But what is a big deal is that this is the narrative of the JRPG, quote unquote. And I think in playing it today, like I really did feel this kind of love letter experience, and especially in this port. The Game Boy Color one is really good. There's a Super Nintendo version that we never got, but it's also really good. It's a sensational experience, and I recommend playing it with a guide and taking your time and enjoying it, and also throwing on a podcast, and because it's a really easygoing game. What's not going to be easygoing is picking between these 4, because these are like, at this point, we're in a master class level. But I will say that with my experience, Dragon Quest XI comes next. Why? So I actually think that this is probably one of the most beautiful, most well-recognized Dragon Quest experiences, and it's just, like I loved the voice acting, even for like side characters who didn't matter in the beginning of the game. And, there's throwbacks, and this is a love letter to the Dragon Quest series as a whole, man. This is like what Dragon Quest fans have been asking for. Unfortunately, it's a victim of its own identity in a sense as well, because this guy stands out because everyone else is so beautiful and so polished and so well done, and he's not. And, I'm 10 hours in, and I would like to see that countered, but I do get the sense that he's rendered rather dull. And that's unfortunate because the rest of the game is just such a treat. But I don't put it lower because I've had such a good time playing this game with the challenges and then the 2D, 3D mode. I think if you play it in 2D mode, it might even be better, to be honest. But in any case, let's move on. 3 more to pick from, and these are damn good games. And, a lot of people's first pick would, for top would probably be Dragon Quest VIII. I'll have to put it here. I don't think he suffers as much silent protagonist syndrome as, Dragon Quest XI Hero does. I think he actually just feels more part of the troupe. You can still kind of like, he juts out a little bit because there's voice acting in this game as well. But I think because it's on the 3DS, it's not as pronounced and it's more tolerable. It's just such a well done game. It's the tragedy of, even like the guy in the cart here, has to do a lot with, or like the horse here. There's a whole tragedy tied to their identities, and you do become there's a sense of purpose to your explorations, and it's just such a gorgeous game. It's a beautiful game, and it's really like you really feel the magic of storytelling in Dragon Quest VIII Journey of the Cursed King. So I love it. I put a good 30 hours in, and I did come across a boss that was giving me a hard time, so I put it down, but I would love to come back to that. In the meantime, we've got the top 2, and my God, we have some great games here. I would have to say Dragon Quest VII comes next. And this is another nostalgic one because, I played it with Spencer, and it's a long game, and I was a bit intimidated about that. But, on the 3DS, it's a little bit quicker. I think you don't suffer you suffer silent protagonist syndrome in this 3D, make of Dragon Quest, the least of those 3D games, because there is no voice acting, interestingly enough. So it feels more natural. I think in a text-based environment, it treats itself nicely. But let's not hold back on the nature of the game. It is a wonderful game. You go island to island and island hopping, I guess, and you see all these different stories and histories, and you get to like find their problems and meet like people of the world. They have different dialects that are transcribed, and I mean Dragon Quest IV does that too, but it comes to life in this game. Seeing this in full 3D, I remember fighting for this game, man. I remember putting out a video that says localized Dragon Quest for the West because we didn't get this, and I remember fighting for it, and that's feeling of satisfaction and getting it and playing it, and these characters too, Kiefer, Maribel, Ruff, there's a few more. They're so well conceived. I do really like them, and I had a blast playing Dragon Quest VII. And that leaves us number 1, Dragon Quest V, the most, the strongest storytelling I've seen in a game, probably ever. It's there. Sometimes you see that movie or you read that book and you just remember your first time seeing it. Well, I'll always remember my first time playing through Dragon Quest V. I didn't finish it, but my God, did the moments in it hit me so hard. Just a lovely, lovely experience and a treat, and one that I hope more people get to experience. And I'm very, very excited and delighted to be able to play it in the upcoming future. That's my rankings for the Dragon Quest series. What's yours? I'd love to know. Let's see it in the comments below. I'll be checking up on it. And thank you to TurboZone for the opportunity to host the table of rankings. It was a grand old slime. And that's my cue. If you want to check me out, come see me on Majora T here on the YouTubes. Otherwise, subscribe to TurboZone. He's a great dude. Love him. And stay tuned for more content to come.